It is time to have a conversation about Trevor Lawrence and his tenure with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are now in year 5, with Trevor Lawrence being the starting quarterback with this organization, and we haven't seen significant growth with him at the quarterback position. After starting 4-1 this season, this team now has a 5-4 record. And I want to acknowledge a couple things early on in this video. I understand his rookie season was terrible, and it wasn't all on him. He had a bad offensive line. The wide receiving weapons were not the best, and he had a terrible head coach in Urban Meyer. They took a massive swing to bring in a successful head coach at the college level, but unfortunately, it did not translate over to the NFL. Urban Meyer was terrible on and off the field. He kicked the kicker. He didn't even know who Aaron Donald was. So they moved off of Urban Meyer. In year 2, you bring in an established head coach in Doug Pederson. Doug Pederson won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles, won that Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, by the way, with Nick Foles against the New England Patriots, and he got the most out of Carson Wentz. But the Eagles, they realized, hey, it's time to move on. We need to bring in a brand new head coach. Let's bring in Nick Sirianni. And they haven't looked back since then. But we got to see some good plays out of Trevor Lawrence in year 2. They made the NFL playoffs that season. They won a playoff game over the Chargers. Now, in the first half, Trevor Lawrence, he didn't look good. He had a bunch of interceptions, a bunch of turnovers, but it's fine. You still won the game. They routed around Trevor Lawrence. The defense stepped up. We could talk about how terrible of a head coach Brandon Staley was with the Chargers. But at the end of the day, the Jaguars, they won that game. I'm not going to take that away from them. That was a great win for the entire organization. And then the next week against Kansas City, Trevor Lawrence, he balled out in that playoff game. Sure, he had a couple passes he'll like to have back, but they had so many drops in that game against Kansas City. You lost that matchup, but there was a lot of optimism at that point in time. You have Doug Pederson, who comes in his first year, turns everything around. Then you go over to year 3 with Trevor Lawrence, year 2 with Doug Pederson. You start the season off red hot, 8-3. You lead the AFC with the best record. Then injuries started to settle in. Trevor Lawrence, he hurt his ankle against the Cincinnati Bengals, and the relationship with Doug Pederson and this organization was never the same. You missed the NFL playoffs. You didn't win the division, but it's fine. Trevor Lawrence, before that injury, he looked like a top 10 quarterback. He'll finish the season with 21 passing touchdowns to 14 interceptions. But in year 2, 25 passing touchdowns to 8 interceptions. If we get this kid fully healthy, we're working with something here. But unfortunately, that was not the case in 2024 last season. Press Taylor was a terrible offensive coordinator. Doug Pederson was not a good head coach, and your defense was not the same. And it was time to move on from everyone with the coaching staff. And Trevor Lawrence missed a lot of throws. There were open wide receivers, but his accuracy was terrible. And the IQ wasn't there either. He'll run out of bounds in a crucial situation. Instead of being in 2nd and 10, now we're in 2nd and 15. It's the little things with Trevor Lawrence, but the coaching was still bad. The offensive line wasn't the best. So we come over to this season with Liam Cohen, yet another coach. 3rd head coach in 5 years. 3 different play callers in 5 years. You started the season off red hot, not because of Trevor Lawrence, because of your defense. You're taking the football away. You're running the football with Travis Etienne. And you're basically using Trevor Lawrence as a game manager. When you need a big play, Trevor Lawrence, get the football to Brian Thomas Jr. Get the football to Travis Hunter when he's fully healthy. Go out there and help us and keep us on schedule. And it was working. You still had a couple bumps in the road, but for the most part, for the first 5 games, it worked out into your favor. But it shouldn't have been this way with Trevor Lawrence. Coming out of college, this man was seen as the next best prospect at the quarterback position. Scouts and analysts, and this is very rare, pretty much everyone in unison, they came out and they said, yeah, this kid, he's phenomenal. He's him. You have the first overall pick. You're going to be in a great situation. As a matter of fact, you should possibly tank for Trevor Lawrence. The tank for Trevor movement was red hot. At Clemson, he was phenomenal, but he hasn't lived up to that hype. Coaching hasn't been the best. They're dealing with a lot of drops. They've led the league in drops since he has been the quarterback with this roster. But at the same time, you pay attention to games here. Trevor Lawrence is late on reads. The accuracy is terrible. He is so inconsistent as a quarterback. It's not working right now. And you shouldn't have to depend on your defense to have 2 to 3 takeaways a game. You should have to depend on Travis Etienne to have 150 rushing yards every single week to win football games. Your quarterback should help you out. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in this league, and he hasn't stepped up. And I'm tired of the excuses for Trevor Lawrence. We're seeing Drake May in year 2 take this major leap. Lamar Jackson took a major leap in year 2. The same with Josh Allen. We saw Trevor Lawrence take that leap in year 2. Yes, they won that playoff game, but he hasn't developed since then. We've seen Lamar Jackson develop. We've seen Patrick Mahomes be the best quarterback in the NFL for years. Baker Mayfield is taking a jump with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The same with Sam Darnold in Seattle and last year with the Minnesota Vikings. They have tried to put a team around Trevor Lawrence and it hasn't worked out. They've tried different coaches and it hasn't worked out. A coach cannot throw the football for you. A coach can't make certain reads for you. A coach can make your life easier, but the throws that Trevor Lawrence is missing. Most second and third round picks, they can make those throws. He has every tool possible to be a franchise quarterback in this league, and it's just not working out. He is 6'6". He can move around. He has a rocket arm, but it's not connecting right now. He's not a one-read quarterback. That's the most frustrating part. He can scan the field. He can process. He knows certain blitz protections. He can protect himself, especially in the open field. He'll slide down. The one concussion that he suffered last year came on a dirty hit by Azeez Al-Shaair, and he was dealing with a shoulder injury that came inside the pocket. It's just his accuracy and him being late on reads or giving up on reads too quickly. You look at Brian Thomas Jr., he's dealing with an injury right now. His best games last season did not come with Trevor Lawrence. They came with Mac Jones. Him and Trevor Lawrence, they did not have the right chemistry. Parker Washington has been a solid wide receiver with Trevor Lawrence. Travis Hunter has had some big time plays this season. Right now, he's dealing with an injury. He's on IR with a knee injury. But it's not consistent. We'll see Trevor Lawrence go out there for 2 to 3 drives, look completely terrible. Then here comes a random drive late in the third quarter. He looks phenomenal. He is not the main reason why they're winning football games this season. Even dating back to last year, Doug Pederson was a bad head coach. Press Taylor, terrible offensive coordinator. But you had open wide receivers, and Trevor Lawrence just couldn't hit him before he went down with that injury, but Mac Jones was able to hit him. And Mac Jones is not going to be the answer long term with this team either. He's now with the San Francisco 49ers. You find yourself in a tough situation because you've already paid this man to be a franchise quarterback. So now you have to stick with him. But for a quarterback to have 11 passing touchdowns to 7 interceptions up to this point, that's not good enough. Especially with a coach like Liam Cohen. They made a trade at the trade deadline to bring in a wide receiver, to bring in Jacoby Myers from the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Jacoby Myers has some of the best hands in the league. He doesn't drop passes. Brian Thomas Jr. has dropped passes this season. The same with Parker Washington and the same with Travis Hunter. That has been a huge problem with Trevor Lawrence and his tenure with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That has nothing to do with him, by the way. If he puts the football right between the numbers in your chest and you can't catch it, the quarterback did his job. That's on you as a wide receiver. But we can also acknowledge some of the drops, the ball is behind the wide receiver. They have to stretch out and they have to try to just basically dive for the football. That's terrible accuracy. And you're throwing your wide receivers into coverage here. The offensive line has taken a major step back. He got sacked 14 times in a 2-week span against Seattle and the same against the Los Angeles Rams. Against the Las Vegas Raiders, the Raiders are one of the worst teams in the NFL. You went to overtime with that team and you won that game by 1 point. Trevor Lawrence had 0 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. And he has so many chances in this game to make sure that this game did not go into overtime, but he missed reads, he missed throws yet again. And against the Houston Texans today, this was the icing on the cake. You were up 29-10 to begin the fourth quarter. You lost this game 36-29. Trevor Lawrence was 13 of 23, 158 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception. That's against one of the best defenses in the NFL. But at the same time, You have Jacoby Myers, who has been a very good wide receiver in the past with the Patriots, with the Las Vegas Raiders. You find a way to win that football game. You find a way to close that game out. Tom Brady has done this. Big Ben has done this. Peyton Manning has done this. Josh Allen has done this. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes has done this as well. You find a way to close out those games if you are that franchise quarterback. And Trevor Lawrence is not. It's not all on him, but he is not helping either. This may be a bit unfair, and you guys can say that it is. But in some games, you're going to have to go out there and win shootouts. When you go against a dominant defense, you have to find a way to win by all costs. That is why they pay the quarterback position so much. It's the highest paid position on the field. Figure it out, especially when you have an offensive head coach in Liam Cohen and the work that he just did with Baker Mayfield. And I look at the numbers with Trevor Lawrence, it doesn't tell the entire story. But when you look at the numbers of Trevor Lawrence, he doesn't stand out as a top-tier quarterback in this league. Your best season was your second year, 25 passing touchdowns and 8 interceptions. And then the next season, you follow that up with 21 passing touchdowns and 14 interceptions, 11 passing touchdowns and 7 interceptions in 2024. Your rookie season, 12 passing touchdowns, 17 interceptions. You are a turnover machine. He had a 6-game streak where he had an interception. And he did snap that streak against the 49ers. But he only had 174 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown. Your defense had 3 takeaways on Brock Purdy and crew. 3. And Travis Etienne was a monster in that matchup. So you're not able to go out there and take the football away. And you can't run the football at a high clip. If you're depending on Trevor Lawrence, help us out in this moment. Consistently, he can't do it. And I know that win that they had against Kansas City, Monday Night Football, you had a pick 6 in that game with Devin Lloyd, but I will give Trevor his credit. That one interception was not on him. It was blatant pass interference. And he got the game-winning touchdown. He fell down the offensive line and stepped on his leg. He gets up, he runs around, he makes a play. He's a chaotic quarterback. He can't play within structure. You can give him a better offensive line. You can potentially give him better wide receivers. But in my opinion, he is who he is. If we're going to have the same energy for quarterbacks like Justin Fields, and I feel like Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than Justin Fields, but everyone is calling him a bust. They say that he's not good. He hasn't won a playoff game, which is all true. A lot of problems that Justin Fields has, Trevor Lawrence has as well. And I can also acknowledge that Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than Justin Fields, but he was selected in the first round. We have a bunch of people, they call out Caleb Williams. He's missing throws. He doesn't look as good. Trevor Lawrence is in year 5. Caleb is in year 2. That's the difference here. And Trevor has already been paid so much money to go out there and to be the guy. You look at Daniel Jones in this division with the Indianapolis Colts. Granted, you can say they have a better team. Look at how he is performing right now. CJ came in year 1 and year 2 and won this division in back-to-back years behind a horrendous offensive line. Jaden Daniels comes in his rookie season, takes his team to the NFC Championship game. The excuses are running out for Trevor Lawrence. And simply to me, he's not the guy. And I don't think that he ever will be. He is supposed to be further along. In the past, we expected for quarterbacks to go out there and elevate the pieces around you. We've now turned everything around to where we put a lot of pieces around the quarterback and we hope for the best. They tried to load this team up when he was on that rookie contract. It didn't work out. Christian Kirk missed time. Didn't have the best hands. It's not all on Trevor Lawrence. I really want to push that in this video, but he hasn't lived up to that hype of being the first overall pick. And the defense here, they have taken a step back, but let's just be real. You had 13 takeaways in the first couple games of the season. That wasn't going to carry over for the rest of the year. You still have talent up front with Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, and they need to be better. They need to do a better job in terms of getting to the quarterback on a consistent basis. You have Jordan Lewis inside the nickel cornerback position. You traded Tyson Campbell to the Cleveland Browns, and you bring in Greg Newsome. But your defense isn't losing games here. You can blame this fourth quarter collapse against the Houston Texans on the defense, but what is your quarterback doing? And the penalties on the offensive end, They lead the league in penalties. But this has been a problem with Trevor Lawrence and the offense since his rookie season. They're an undisciplined team, illegal shift, illegal motion, holding. That has nothing to do with Trevor Lawrence. This is something that has everything to do with Trevor Lawrence. When you have intentional grounding calls, you're running out of bounds and the ball is still in your hand because you don't know your place on the field. When you're putting yourself in harm's way, holding onto the football for too long. When you have an easy read underneath with Travis Etienne because you want to play hero ball, you act like this is Clemson, and that's not the case. I have been very disappointed with Trevor Lawrence in his career. And with this being his third head coach, if he can't take this major leap with Liam Cohen, it's never going to happen. And this comes out of a place of frustration. I was hoping that he was going to be the guy with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it seems like it's not going to be the case. But let me know in the comment section below. How do you feel about Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys to stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.